Schools are closed once again today, but WEAC is now issuing a call for all teachers to return to work. Joining us now is Mary Bell, the president of WEAC. Thank you for joining us. You've had quite a week last week.
Yeah, it was a long one.
Why did you ask teachers to come and protest if they could last week?
Yes,
why was that important to you?
It was absolutely critical that we show very visibly, physically, in this capital city that this is not the Wisconsin that people across the state want. We called not only for our teachers, not only for our members, not only for our education support professionals, but people from across the state who understand that collective bargaining rights for workers are a critical element if we're going to confront the challenges that Wisconsin has ahead of it. We have to have the voice of the workers.
Now, you've called your teachers to go back to work now, but what do you do about still having that voice out there?
Well, today is President's Day, and in a number of places, and for state workers, it's a furlough day. So we will have people in the Capitol today. We do have members who will be here because it is what they believe they must do. As we move through the week, they'll be caring for children. They'll be in their communities. All across this state, voices have to be heard. It isn't just here. What we did here last week was to make that visible presence. We're now taking that visible presence out to communities so that people who couldn't come can talk about this with their neighbors, with their friends, with their family, in their churches, in their town squares. This is not a Madison fight. This is a fight for the voices of Wisconsin.
With this budget repair bill, Governor Walker is saying that basically the option is if this passes, then there will be no layoffs. If it doesn't, then we're talking layoffs and a laundry list of other things. Do you believe that to be true?
I do not, because just the hints of the budget bill that he's going to introduce behind closed doors this week in a private revealing, and then the details that he's asked for an extension on, talk about massive cuts to programs, not just schools, but $900 million cuts to schools. That means 10 to 12% of school budgets will be gone. That's not going to be about pensions and health care. That's about programs. That's about layoffs. That's about people who will not be there. But county services, municipal services, Medicaid services that you talked about with Senator Erpenbach earlier, those are all going to be affected. And he's not telling the Wisconsin citizens about that.
You've been hearing a lot from, I'm sure, parents and from students and obviously talking to your teachers as well. Can you tell me what are your teachers saying about this and what needs to be done? Because it's got to be a difficult choice for anybody, especially for teachers. They want to have their voices heard, but yet the school kids at this point, they're kind of getting hurt in this as well.
Well, it really is the toughest choice that an educator has to make, to leave their classroom, to leave the very profession that they care so passionately about. But this was about those kids. This was about making sure that their voices in advocating for their students, in standing up for their schools, can be preserved. If you've got economic cuts that are coming, and we believe that they will be massive, why would you want to silence the voice of the very people on the front line in indicating how those cuts can be made most efficiently, but without damaging overly what we know are going to be very devastating cuts to our services to kids?
Should this bill pass, could there be a strike in the future?
Those are certainly possibilities, but it's premature to talk about that. I think what we saw from members across the state was they are willing to stand up for their rights. They are willing to stand up for their schools and their students. If that becomes a push, there will very likely be additional actions that they feel compelled to take. What they are and how they work, that remains to be seen. I'm still hoping that we have legislators who are willing to stand up and say, this is not Wisconsin. This is not the way we work. We need to compromise. We need to have the voice of the workers in meeting the challenges ahead.
Did you foresee this situation to get this big and this intense?
Not until we got the first hints a week ago Thursday that this was what the governor was looking to do. We had understood that there would be pension contributions, there would be health care contributions. He'd campaigned on that. But the only campaign phrase that indicated any of this was something he called flexibility. This isn't flexibility. This is stripping workers of rights. It's so much bigger than that.
How, as a leader, do you go on with this? It's got to be a day-to-day, minute-by-minute situation for you.
It's difficult. But I will tell you that what my members bring me every single minute is their passion for this profession. My experience, my love of teaching tells me that I have to keep going, because this is what we need in Wisconsin. The Wisconsin I grew up in, the Wisconsin I want the children I love to have. We have to do this. We have to prevail.
All right. Mary Bell from WEAC, thank you very much.
Thank you.